So to walk through quickly, I'm going to give a quick intro and then I'll have you hold up each one. And so Olivia, I'll ask what is the object and what does it do? And who normally uses it? And how might it be used in a different way? And so just like one or two different ways. And then Heather, I'll ask you to do your object. What is it? What does it normally do? Who uses it and how it could be used in a different way? And then you're going to combine those in a different way, in any way, the features or the way it looks, and there's no wrong answer. And then give a little pitch about what it is and what it does.
So my first object is a phone case.
Okay, and what is it normally used for?
To protect your phone. It could maybe be used for, you could hold things in it, so maybe like a container, or you could use it maybe as a coaster. It could be used as a coaster too.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be those two things, other things it could be used for other than protecting your phone.
There's no wrong answer in this.
Yeah, so those would be my two answers for that.
Yeah, Olivia, what do you have over there?
I have this brush. It's a makeup brush, usually used to apply blush. But you could also use it, like, I was thinking, I have a lot of plants around my house, and sometimes they drop little leaves around the table, and like you can't really use a broom on top of your table, but you could use a little brush to like kind of clean the area around it. Or you could also use it, like Heather, if you trimmed your bangs and you had some hair on the counter, you could like use it to brush it off or something like that.
Awesome. So we have the two objects, different possible uses. So how can you then combine these in a creative, innovative way to come up with a new product or that no one has ever seen before that you can convince them they have to have in their life? So just about the features and some of the ideas y'all came up with and combine them.
Could almost be something like with the phone case where you use the brush or something and then it's always there. So say if you just have to apply your blush and you're in a hospital, it's always on your phone case and you have it there. And within the phone case, maybe there's like a compartment in the back that holds like a thing of blush that you can put in there, and then the brush is connected to the case or something like that maybe.
Yeah. Or even like instead of blush, it could be like powder, like translucent powder, like foundation powder, because I know sometimes women like to like reapply their makeup throughout the day a little bit
to gather like the oils and stuff.
Like if your face gets oily or something. So it could be like a little miniature brush inside, maybe not this big, but smaller. And then it would just be like kind of like a wallet, but instead of a wallet, it'd be like a compact makeup.
Yeah, like a compact makeup and brush phone case. So you don't have to carry a bunch of stuff.
There you go. You found your customer and kind of identified their need and their problem. Combine these two different things, and you can make a great prototype by taking a kind of a compact makeup case with your phone and just taping them together. And then you could go talk to people about that idea and start getting feedback and start working on your design and your business model. So great invention, you two.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, who's up next?
And then for the second one, I have tweezers for my second object.
Okay, Kylee, what do you have?
I have this rubber band ball.
Okay, so we'll start with you, Kylee. What does it do and who normally uses it?
So it can hold papers together. It can hold, like, rubber bands are very versatile. You can even use it to tie back your hair. It's not the best, but I used to work in the restaurant industry and we always had rubber bands around for girls who forgot hair ties. This is a pretty big one. I have no idea how many rubber bands are in here, but anyone can use rubber bands, especially in an office. So
it could be bigger, it could be smaller. It can bounce.
Yeah, probably.
Heather, tell us about your tweezers. What do they normally do and who uses them?
So everyone can use tweezers, which is nice. They're typically used for pulling out if you have like a splinter or something, but they maybe could also be used for picking up objects, like tiny objects. Maybe if you're working with beads and making jewelry to pick up beads. They could be used to, they're sharp, so they could maybe be used to cut things or open things up, like an envelope or something like that. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, then now combining these, and I'm going to jump in here because the name is Wacky Inventions. So entrepreneurs don't limit their thinking at first. It's any possibility that you may or may even not be possible. So what if your tweezers were made of rubber? And so you could bounce them off the ground and it would just pick it up and then bounce back up in your hand. And in the spirit of the game, in the beginning of this entrepreneurial process, that is listed as a valid idea. It can, because later on it might come back that, oh, that was a spark that led to something else that might lead to a different idea. So what other wacky inventions can we come up with those two objects?
So
yeah, I came up with, oh, you go, Kylee, you go.
Sorry. Since there's so many rubber bands, I thought about like linking them together somehow to make a longer chain. And then I guess with bouncing off the idea of using the tweezers as an end, we could like make a chain to get tiny objects with the tweezers in hard to reach places. So I don't know, like if you were like fixing a car and dropped a bolt or something, you could use the rubber band chain to pick it up where your hand can't reach.
I think that's a really good idea. Mine was first just a slingshot. That was what my idea first came to mind, was a slingshot. So, but I think your idea is a lot better. Not better, but it's a lot more creative. You took it a step further than I did.
And so I'm glad you said that, Heather, because I use the word better. And so all entrepreneurs out there, the hardest part of getting started is yourself. Because you're going to have an idea and have a thought, but you're going to stop yourself because you think it's not good. You think that something else might be better. But I urge you in this beginning to just let that go, and whatever you're thinking, write it down. Slingshot, boom, write down slingshot. Draw a picture of a slingshot. If you have 1,000 rubber bands connected, then you have 1,000 rubber bands connected. Give yourself that openness and that outside the box, because the innovation, that word means new. And so for an entrepreneur to come up with an innovative solution to a problem that they identify, they have to enter that space of what if and why not, and go outside of what exists.
Awesome, great. Well, Scott, do you have any more insights for us about Wacky Inventions, or is that pretty much?
Just start wacky. The wackier, the better. Again, why can't tweezers bounce off the ground and come back to you? There's whatever you have, don't limit your thinking when you start. Use those brainstorming rules and techniques, and be kind to yourself. Don't judge yourself. Your ideas, as you share them and start to talk with customers and get feedback, they're going to let you know what's working and what's not. When you're designing it, you're going to find out what works and what doesn't. So in this first phase, go as far as your imagination will take you in identifying and solving the problem.
All right, great. Thank you so much.